Hi, this is Jamie Arenthal. Welcome to your all-level vinyasa yoga class. Please have props available like straps, blocks, the back of a chair, or even a wall to hold on to. Our goal today is to fit the poses to our body and not the other way around. Here we go. Beginning at the front of our mat, separate your feet hip width apart. Let's circle the shoulders forward, lift them up, back and down. Repeat that. Just nice big shoulder circles, opening up the chest. Imagine that you're widening or broadening those collarbones, right? Narrowing your shoulders behind you, and then release your shoulders down, palms face forward. Lift your toes, spread them out, and lay them back down. And then maybe even activate your quadriceps, your thigh muscles, by lifting those kneecaps. You can always use a lock like Mula Bandha, which is root lock right at the perineum. Lift the heart, tuck your chin in gently. Beautiful. You can close your eyes here if it's comfortable. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Maybe even bring the hands together in a prayer at your heart, Anjali Mudra. Take a moment here to set your intention for your yoga practice today. If nothing comes to mind, feel free to use ahimsa, the Sanskrit word for nonviolence. And in this context, practicing ahimsa means being kind, practicing compassion, allowing, accepting, and being gentle with ourselves as we move through our poses, our asana. Inhale your prayer hands up to the sky. You can interlace your fingers here if that feels good. And as you exhale, bow to one side. Inhale to come up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. Inhale, center. And exhale, side. Release your hands and gently swing from side to side, knees soft, allowing your head to follow. Just make it easy. And then coming back to center, place your hands on your thighs. I'll turn sideways. We can inhale and exhale over. Walk your hands up your legs and come to a cow back. So cow pose has the belly down, tail up, eyes and chest lifted. And then as you exhale, pull your belly button in, round over for a cat back. So inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. So just a standing version. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. One more. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Bend your knees, tuck your chin, roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. Head last to come up. And then we'll circle those shoulders up, back, and down. So I usually resist having us roll our shoulders the other way, because I think many of us sit at our computers like this all day anyway. There's no way, no reason, no good reason to practice that. Instead, practice this scapular retraction, opening up the heart. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, nose to knees. Remember, you can always keep knees soft here. If you wanted, you could have blocks for your fingers. But just see if you can shake your head no, shake your head yes, shake your shoulders, shake your tail, and maybe even take the opposite elbow here. Chin stays tucked to keep the back of the neck long, and maybe you can sway from side to side. So the goal here is just to awaken the body, right? The spine, taking it through all of its motions, side bends, forward bends, back bends, twists, just to prepare us. And then go ahead, release your fingers. Walk your hands halfway up, come back to that flat back, or as I mentioned before, cow, right? And then let it go, forward fold. We'll step the right leg back, arms by ears, high lunge, Anjaneyasana. You could always bend the elbows here if that makes things easier for you. And another little adjustment I like, bend that right knee a little bit. See how that allows you to drop the tailbone down. You could stay here. You could make it easier by putting the knee on the floor if you needed that, or extend that right heel behind you. So stay low, knee bent, tailbone points down, and see if you feel more stretch in the front of that right thigh than before. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal your heels for this first dog of the day. Good. And then come forward to a plank. Look forward of the top edge of your mat. As you exhale, come back to downward dog. So we'll do this just a few times, warming up those shoulders, warming up our calves, Achilles tendons, lengthening through the spine. And then come to that plank, lower knees, chin and chest, modified vinyasa, onto your belly, baby cobra. Exhale, chin or forehead down, and then bend your knees, come back to child's pose. Option throughout yoga practice today to come to that child's pose, balasana, whenever you desire. Whenever you need a break, you don't feel like getting up and pausing your video if you're watching this later. Curl the toes under, knees up, down dog. Again, feel free to pedal if that's feeling good for you right now. Right leg up, hips stay square for one leg dog, and then exhale the right knee forward. Shift the weight so that your shoulders are aligned over your wrists, and then inhale, send that heel back up to the sky, toes point down. Exhale forward, hug that knee to chest, and inhale back, one leg dog. Exhale forward, inhale, lift the leg. This time, exhale forward, hug that knee in and quietly step the foot between your hands. Preparing for a twist. You can make this harder or easier. So easier is left knee on the floor, right hand on the right knee. Right, harder, keep that left knee up and reach that right arm to the sky. Really adjust those shoulders away from your ears. So it's one long line from the left wrist to your right wrist. As you exhale, hand down, step left foot to meet the right, forward fold. Coming halfway up, reverse your swan dive. Exhale, prayer to heart center. We'll do that on the other side. Deep breath in, swan dive over. Halfway up, inhale for that cow back. And exhale, fold nose to knees. Left foot steps back, arms by ears, high lunge or Anjaneyasana. Remember those adjustments. For some of us, elbows bend for more balance. For some of us, the back knee bends. Allow that tailbone to point down, lengthening the lumbar spine. And you can stay here or knee on the floor, or make it harder by pushing that left heel further back. Notice a little bit more sensation in the front of the left thigh, left hip flexor. And then as you exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal if you like. And then on your tippy toes, inhale to plank, lower knees, chin, chest. Coming through, baby cobra. Exhale, child's pose. And downward facing dog. Your option to use that modified vinyasa throughout our yoga practice today. Inhale the left leg up. Keep hips square. Keep left foot flexed. Left toes point down. Next exhale, pull that knee in. Move shoulders over the wrists and hug left knee into your rib cage. Inhale, left leg up, one leg dog. So exhale, hug the knee in, really pull the knee up into your belly. And then inhale that leg up. Again, coming forward. Make sure you're shifting shoulders over wrists. And then lift up. And this time, hug the knee in, hover, hover. Quietly step that left foot to the floor. Options to modify: right knee could be on the floor, left hand on your left knee to twist. Otherwise, just reach that left arm up. Shoulders away from ears. We're stacking wrist to wrist, one long line. And then as you exhale, left hand down, right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale halfway up, reverse swan dive. And exhale, prayer to heart center. So let's add on here. Inhale the arms up, swan dive over. Inhale, flat back. And then your option, you could jump back or step the right, step the left into the plank. As you exhale, chaturanga. So chaturanga, the only thing changing are bent elbows. And then as you inhale, tops of the feet, straighten your arms, eyes of the elbows forward. Straight legs, curl toes, down dog. So more challenging. Bend your knees, look forward. You can hop or step your right foot, step your left foot, forward fold. Inhale halfway up, really stretch that spine long, and exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive. And exhale, prayer to heart center. Reach up, swan dive, flat back. Your journey back, either step left, step right, or hop. Come through chaturanga. Upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, eyes to elbows pointing forward. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Breathing here. So this is our first version of sun salutation. Really serves as a warm-up and just orients us to the poses. Bend your knees, look forward. You can hop or step left, step right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, and reverse swan dive. Exhale, prayer to heart center. Let's do that again. One for each side. Deep breath in, swan dive fold. Inhale, flat back, prepare your journey back. Vinyasa, downward facing dog. Always the option to be on your knees instead of downward dog. And then look forward, step, step, or hop. Flat back and forward fold. Reverse swan dive. Prayer to heart center. One more. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, prepare your journey back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Look forward, step, step, or hop. And forward fold, reverse swan dive. Prayer to heart center. So now we go into our second version of sun salutations or namaskar be. So here, if you like, you can bring the feet to touch. It's always an option. I personally like feet hip width apart. It just gives me a little bit more stability, but it's up to you. Chair pose. Think of those arms as extensions of the crown. So one long line from your tailbone all the way through the crown to the fingertips. As you exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, prepare your journey back. Vinyasa, or feel free to omit and meet us in downward facing dog. Right leg up. This time, open your right hip. Lift that right foot as high as you can. And we're helped here if we lower the head. So the lower your crown is, the higher the right toe goes. Down dog split. And then exhale the right foot between your hands. Fingertips on the floor. Lower your left heel, grounding, and then engage the core. Circle arms by ears, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor, your vinyasa. From downward dog, left leg up, point the left toe, open the hip. Again, lower your head as much as you can to lift that left toe as high as you can. Step the left foot between your hands, fingertips first on the floor. Lift your heart away from that thigh, and then lower your right heel. Circle arms, warrior one, Virabhadrasana. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. On your next exhale, vinyasa. From downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, take 3 to 5 breaths here. Look between your hands, step, step, or hop forward. Flat back, really lengthen your spine from tail to crown. You're walking your hands up the legs if that's necessary, not a discount here. And then exhale, pull the belly button in, nose to knees. Bend your knees, circle arms by ears, Utkatasana, chair pose, and then exhale to stand. So I love the philosophy of we all get an A, right? No matter what we're doing here, no matter how we're participating or not, we all get an A. There's no discount if you modify. There's no bonus if you do something extra. So do what's best for you. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back, prepare. Exhale, vinyasa. Downward dog. Moving a little faster here. Right leg up, right foot forward. Warrior one. Vinyasa. From down dog, left leg up, down dog split, left foot forward, warrior one. Exhale, vinyasa. Holding downward dog, but don't hold your breath. 3 to 5 deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose, building heat. And then looking between your hands, step, step, or hop. Flat back, inhale. And exhale to fold. Chair pose. Mountain pose. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, prepare, flat back. Exhale, vinyasa. From down dog, right leg up, right foot forward. Warrior one. Exhale, vinyasa. Left leg up. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Three to five breaths. Your journey forward. Flat back. Forward fold. Chair pose. Mountain pose. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, vinyasa. Right leg up. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Left leg up. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Three to five breaths. Your journey forward. Chair pose. Inhale here. And exhale to stand. Bring hands to prayer at your heart. Close your eyes. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. And then float your eyes open. We'll do a pigeon chair balancing pose now. So if you need, you can always have something to hold on to. I'll try and mirror you, although I often make mistakes with directions when I try and do it opposite, but we'll try. Okay, so we'll begin by lifting the right leg up. Notice I've already messed up. Okay, so you're gonna lift your left leg up. Let's try that. Good. And then go ahead and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. You could have your hands at your heart and then take a seat. So you're in chair pose. For some of us, it might even be better to bring the arms forward, right? Still one long line from your crown to your tail. Again, if you need that chair, as I do today, feel free to use it. Make sure you're flexing your left foot. Make sure you're bending that right knee. And if anybody is uncomfortable with this, you can always just turn it into a regular chair, right? That's always an option. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the nose. Beautiful. Now you can keep those hands at your heart and start to send that left leg back. So you're in warrior three. Again, if it's too much, you can always make this easier. Arms wide, holding on, arms forward. It's really up to you. And then go ahead and step the left foot behind you. Take that left elbow and bring it over that right knee. Press that right hand into the left to rotate your torso. So we're trying to bring the heart center up toward our thumbs. Maybe you'll expand your arms, your wings. And if you want to make it easier, of course you can. You can always put a hand on the floor. Any option here. Good. So go ahead and see if you can lift yourself up, turn the left heel down, and open the arms so you're in warrior two. Right foot forward, left foot back. Right palm opens, tip it back to peaceful. Straighten that right leg if it feels good, and reach those right fingers forward, coming into triangle pose. So for triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana, make sure your right buttock is scooped under you, right? Again, we want, and you could see this is a perfect image for you to be able to see one long line from my right wrist to left wrist, right? One long line. Now, if I were to come into a deeper triangle, notice how I turned it into a forward fold. That's not what we want. We want the spine long. So try not to curve the spine. Instead, shift your hips over to the left side so they tilt and your spine can be nice and long. And then again, you're rotating, tuck the chin and rotate to look up to your left thumb. If it bothers your neck to do that, don't, look forward. Feel the steadiness in your feet. You're absorbing energy from the earth, even though we're not practicing outdoors on the ground. Even if you're in a high-rise building, which I am, you can imagine that you're dropping lines from each foot to the core of the earth, grounding you. And we're reaching those left hands up, like splay those fingers wide. So the hand's like an antenna collecting information. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice. And then you can soften that left knee, bring the hands around, the right knee. Here we go. Yeah, and step that foot forward, forward fold. And shake it out here. You can roll it up. For those of you who wanted a vinyasa, you can always insert one. And then we'll try the other side. Again, I'm mirroring you, so it's a little complicated for me. We're going to stand on the left foot, and we're going to lift the right knee up. And then go ahead, flex the right foot and place it on that left knee. Remember, you can hold on here. Bend the left knee so you're coming into a chair, and maybe your hands stay at your heart. Maybe it's better for you, little counterweight here going on with the arms forward, but think of keeping the spine from crown to tail in one line, right? We don't want to fold in the middle. Keeping breath steady, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And then carefully unhook. Again, you can use your support and start to reach that left leg behind you. Maybe you're going to float those arms out to either side, maybe the arms by the ears. It's your warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. Just make sure the hips stay square, the left toes pointing down. It's the right toe pointing down. You got it. I see you. Come back in. And then go ahead, soften that front knee. You can step that right leg behind you. We'll take a twist. So it's the right elbow over the left thigh to twist. And use your left hand push down to spin. I'm having a balance issue today. Does that happen to you too? So you want to spin that heart around, bringing thumbs, or really bringing the midline of your chest toward the thumbs. Feel free to expand your wings. Feel free to put a hand on the floor. It's for you, whichever way you want. And then go ahead and place your right heel on the floor and come into warrior two. Make sure that left knee is over the left ankle, not tipping from side to side. These are great with the stripes on these pants. You can really see if I'm losing it. Flip the left palm, tip it back peaceful. You can straighten that left leg and then start to reach left fingers forward and come into triangle pose. So Utthita Trikonasana, which really means revolved angle. Make sure that left buttock this time is tucked under you, right? Don't let that tail go out behind you, tuck it under. I've used the expression, imagine yourself being pressed between two panes of glass, but it's a little painful. I don't love it. But if you can imagine yourself pressed against a wall behind you, and that you're laying that left shoulder back, the left shoulder and the right shoulder are stacked one over the other. You can see that vertical line for me from wrist to wrist. And if I try to get deeper, I would lose it. I would turn this into a forward fold, which it is not. Keep shifting your hips to the right so your spine can be as long and uncurved as possible. And then tuck your chin and maybe gaze up to your right thumb. If it bothers your neck, just look forward. Breathing in through the nose. Imagining that your feet are drawing up that energy from the core of the earth, center of the universe, that you're getting all of that energy. And then that right hand is your antenna. Spread those fingers wide, really splay out that palm like you're collecting all of this information. Turn your gaze to the floor, bend the left knee, hands come down. Again, time for a vinyasa if you want it, or step that foot forward and join me in forward fold. Really be like a rag doll here when you get here. And then bend the knees, tuck the chin, roll your way up. Circle those shoulders up, back, and down. Beautiful. So let's do one more thing standing, if you like. I'll go sideways this time. Stepping that left leg back. Finding your warrior two. And then side angle pose. So I like right forearm on that right thigh, the left arm reaching up to the sky. And this actually may be a good opportunity for me to show you sideways. So side angle pose, remember the left hand's reaching up to begin, and I have my right thumb and pointer joined in Chin Mudra. So you can see me from the side, it's one straight line. Again, if I had that wall behind me, and this becomes really important when we bind, if you choose to, but take that left arm and bring it by your left ear. it's straight. Don't let that elbow sag. So it's your left arm perfectly straight. You want to see one long line from the fingertips to that heel. And then for those of you who have a bind, take a look. You have two options here. You can, reach that left arm up to the sky. Look at that left hand. Turn it away from you and then follow with your eyes as you reach it behind you, and then allow that left hand to be on your right thigh. Right? That's a half bind. Notice I'm still two-dimensional here. I'm not leaning forward. I'm not breaking into a forward fold. However, if you want full bind, what you'll do is reach under that right leg to interlace fingers. So notice I'm forward folding, but then I pull everything back, straightening my elbows. My hands are actually under my thigh, not in my groin. Both elbows are straight. This is fun. Good. And notice my right ear is aligned over my right shoulder, over my right knee, over my right ankle, as if I had a vertical line or like a pull. I think of those carousel rides with the horses. You know, they have that pull. We want to imagine that. And then if you want to make this even more challenging, you can straighten the right leg to give yourself a bound triangle. And you could do that whether you have the half bind. It might be a little gentler if you straighten that leg with the half bind. Good? All right, so you can release those binds, bring those hands down to the floor. Option for a vinyasa, or simply join me in downward facing dog. Okay. This time the left leg steps forward, warrior two. So we're on the other side, right? Good. We'll take that left forearm onto that left leg, and the right arm is straight up in the air. Okay. And then for those of you, and notice, right? I'm not leaning forward. I'm purely in line for that side angle pose. And then if you want, you can extend the pose. You could sweep that right arm by the right ear. That elbow is straight. Really engage all of the fascia that connects the muscles together by keeping those joints straight right here. And then for those of us who want a bind, bring that right arm up, turn the palm away, and with your eyes, follow that right hand as it wraps behind you. And you could place the right hand on your left thigh. You see it there? Good. So that's one option. Just make sure the right shoulder is pulling back so that you can stack right over left over the knee, right? One long line. And for those of us who want the full bind, we do need to lean forward to find that other hand, right? And once we do, we straighten the arms and slide our bodies back so that they're in line over that left leg. Elbows straight. And remember, the hand is under your leg, not your groin. And for those of us, well, let's take another breath or two here. But remember, if you did it on the other side, you want to do it here with or without that full bind. You could straighten the left leg and you'll get a bound triangle pose. So just might be too much with the full bind. You get to decide. And then when you're ready, you can soften that left knee, hands to the floor. Step back, either your vinyasa or straight to down dog. That's where we're going. And then we'll come to our pigeon pose. So let's start with that right leg. Down dog split. Really lower the head, raise the toe up. See if you can lower that left heel to the floor. And then if you like, you can bend that right knee. And for some of you, you could flip your dog. And there's two ways to flip the dog. You could have that left leg straight. You're on the outer edge of your left foot like a Vashisthasana, side plank, or you could turn your way into a tabletop. And this could also lead you to full wheel if you wanted. But when you're ready, flip it back. And this time you could step your right foot forward between your hands and then walk your right foot to the left. So you're going to walk it over to that left hand and then lower the knee. Come on up to your fingertips. Walk yourself back an inch or two with that left leg. And you're coming into a protected back bend here. Remember those shoulders. So let's lift and then slide the shoulders behind us. Scapular retraction so that we can broaden the collarbones. Nice chest expansion, back bend through the thoracic spine, and keep the wrinkles out of the back of your neck. Just keep the neck nice and long and look up to the sky through your eyelashes. And then as you exhale, float down to your elbows. You can stack fists and rest your forehead on those fists. That'll keep your head aligned with spine, but feel free to go deeper. Wide elbows, flat hands, forehead on the backs of your hands, and maybe even full prostration. So you reach the hands out in front of you, palms face down, place your chest on the floor, and then your chin or your forehead. Breathing in, breathing out. There's also a bit of a twist here if you wanted it. You could thread the needle, take that left hand through the arm, place that left shoulder on the floor, and the right arm, just like we did with our bind for a side angle, you look around behind you, wrap the hand, and instead of grabbing the thigh, you can grab the big toe. Maybe you'll like that. But feel free to just stay here. You've got another 30 seconds or so, so maybe 5 nice breaths. With each inhalation, imagine that you're nourishing your body, bringing in fresh oxygen. And with each exhalation, you're releasing something you no longer need, carbon dioxide. And you're relaxing through the hip, through the shoulders. Another breath or two. And then to safely come up, walk hands under shoulders. Again, take that back bend here if you like. And there's another version here too. If you'd like a bind, you can bend that left knee, take that left hand and reach it around to the inside of that left foot so the left thumb points up. You can stop here. This is pretty good. Or you can try king pigeon pose. So bringing the toe to the crook of that left elbow, the right arm up, and maybe you'll bind for Gomukhasana hands. Good. So queen pigeon pose isn't too bad. That has the hand down. King pigeon is more balance. And when you're ready, you can release it. Step back to downward facing dog. Open the right hip. And then place the right foot down. Optional vinyasa. Left side, left leg up, point the toe, open the hip. Maybe you'll bend that left knee for those of us who want to flip the dog. So on the outer edge of that right foot, right leg is straight like Vashisthasana. And you can reach overhead or turn it into tabletop. And you could see how you could get to full wheel from here. Not on my plate today. but feel free, Sally. And then when you're ready to come back, flip the dog, step your left foot forward, and then walk your left foot to the right. And then lower that left knee down. Go ahead and walk that right leg back a little bit. Come into that protected back bend. And then melt your way down. First to elbows, stacking fists, forehead on fists. Decide, do you like it here? Stay here. Do you want to go deeper? Elbows wide, flatten hands, forehead back of hands. There's always full prostration. Walk your hands out in front of you, palms down, lower chest and your chin or your forehead. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And here, if you wanted it, there's that twist. Take the knuckles of the right hand. It's a thread the needle. So work your right hand through, right shoulder down, and then bring the left hand, following it with your eyes, bring it around your back so that you can hold on to that left big toe. You did it before, so you might want to do it now, just in a different orientation, right? Horizontal rather than vertical. Wherever you are, it's about 30 more seconds. 5 breaths. Using the inhalation to nourish yourself. There's that ahimsa, that loving kindness and compassion. And using the exhale to accept, to surrender, to melt. These poses are just training for life off the mat. You know, when we reach that sticky moment, that moment when we're about to honk our horn or yell at our kids or whatever your thing is, imagine breathing in this nourishment, breathing out to surrender just for a moment, allowing the breaths to manage your energy, right? Raising your vibration so you're in a better place to respond rather than react. And then to come out safely, hands under shoulders, you can come back to the simple back bend here, or do the bind. You can bend the right knee, take that right arm around so it's on the inside of the right foot, your right thumb pointing up. And you could stay right here, or bring that right toe to the crook of the right elbow, lift your left arm up and find Gomukhasana arms for king pigeon pose. You'll notice I can't do it evenly on both sides due to prior injuries, etc. So today I'm just being kind to myself. I get an A no matter what. And when you're ready, you can release, step back, downward dog. Lift that leg up. Option for your vinyasa, there's time. And then you can place that left leg down, lower your knees, open them wide, big toes touching. Do a wide knee child's pose, let it go. Take a moment to review your yoga practice today and acknowledging yourself for showing up on your mat. You can walk your way out onto your mat, so you're on your belly, and then roll onto your back. It may feel good here to just bend the knees in, give yourself a little hug. You can circle those knees. You can circle in the other direction. And from here, we'll practice shoulder stand with a caveat here and a warning, a contraindication. So if you have any neck shoulder, back issues, I highly recommend sticking with legs up the wall pose, Viparati Karani. So Viparati Karani looks like this. Palms face down. You want to pull your shoulder blades beneath you so your collarbones are nice and broad, and then extend the legs up. And notice I'm pushing through the balls of my feet. So I'm not, you could try this by pointing your toes and then flaring the toes back and just glue the legs together, zip, zip. And this is challenging. You could scoot up to a wall so your buttocks and your legs are against the wall, so more restorative, because this could get rather challenging. Another way to manage Viparati Karani is to bend the knees, right? And then it's a little bit more core work here. You could try that. And then for those of us who, if you do not have any neck or shoulder contraindications, you can do shoulder stand. So what is shoulder stand? Literally, the only thing that's going to be touching the floor are the backs of your shoulders, right? Not your, and the back of your head, but not your neck, nowhere on your spine, maybe your upper arm bones, but let's see. So we can do it like this, soften the knees, use your hands, lift the hips up. And once you start to do this, just listen to my voice. Don't look at me, right? Just keep your nose pointing straight up to the sky. Walk those shoulder blades under you, like you're creating a little easel for the rest of your body, right? And the chin is tucked, chin resting on your sternum. You can go ahead and extend those legs up tall. Notice my legs are sort of at half mast right now, right? And if you want to go straight up, just walk your hands higher up your back so that your legs are vertical. And again, point the toes and then flare the toes back towards your nose. Zip those legs together. And if from here you have plow pose, halasana in your practice, you can go ahead and do that. But for me, it's contraindicated. Too much stretch on my lumbar, lower back. So for me, I can modify and do deaf man's pose. So deaf man's pose, we bend the knees and bring the knees to either side of our head. So we're getting a nice forward flexion without the added strain of those straight and extended hamstring muscles, right? You bend your knees and you put the hamstrings on slack. So your choice here, wherever you want to be, you're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. The benefits of both legs up the wall and shoulder stand are circulation. So we're really changing our perspective. We're changing gravity. So the blood has to work a little harder to move out to the toes, and the lymph gets a little break. It makes it a little easier for the lymph to return toward the heart. Just a little challenge. So when you're ready to come out, control this with your core muscles. Don't just flop back down. You can soften your knees and guide your way down with your hands. Maybe hug those knees again into your chest. It feels so good. And then we'll come to Matsyasana, fish pose. So feet are on the floor, and we'll take the hands down and then move up onto your elbows. I'm sliding my hands a little bit under my buttocks, almost like I'm sliding my hands into pockets. And then on an inhale, lean back, allowing the top of your head to come to the floor. So the benefit here is opening up the throat, where if you were in shoulder stand, you were constricting those lymph nodes. And you can extend your legs out long. You could also have your legs in Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet touching. And for some of us, if the legs are straight, you might even float your feet a few inches, maximum 6 inches off the floor. But again, if you have any lower back issues, I would just enjoy this here. An alternative pose for Matsyasana or fish pose is full wheel. Should you want to do that, go for it. Notice I'm also pointing my toes away from me, reaching up through my heart, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So come safely out, lift your head up, move the elbows wide, and roll your way down to the mat. Release those shoulders beneath you. Arms can splay wide, and you could do the same with your legs. So tuck those buttocks under you, separate the feet, and allow the knees and the toes to splay out to either side. Notice if there's still any tension in the back of your neck. You can always tuck your chin to chest and then release it. We'll be here for just a few minutes in Shavasana, final relaxation. Your eyes are closed, your lips are lightly touching, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Your breath is effortless, as if your breath is breathing you, like a wave rolling up onto the sand and then rolling back out to sea. If your mind wanders, you can always use a mind vehicle. The Sanskrit word is mantra. You could use English in, out. You could use rising, falling. If you like Sanskrit, so, I am all that is. In, out. So, so, hum. In, out. Feel free to stay here, continuing your Shavasana for as long as you desire. If you're ready to come out, begin to deepen your breath, feeling the belly rise on the inhale, releasing down on the exhale. And you can bend your knees and draw your knees towards your chest and gently rock those knees from side to side. Maybe rolling everything over to a side lying child's pose. and using hands to sit up or rocking lengthwise on your spine, back and forth, gathering momentum to come back to your seated pose, Sukhasana. Bring hands to heart center in a prayer. The light and the love in me honor and bow to the light and the love in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your yoga practice with me today.